All right, Rakia. Okay, how about you introduce yourself first and foremost? That would be a great start.
Okay, my name is Rakia Moctar Karimou. I say it in French because that's how it's first spelled. And I'm 20 years old. I'm soon gonna be 21 this month. Um, I study translation at Université de Montréal, um, and I'm a model.
That's pretty good. Let me ask you something. So I know French is your first language.
Mhm.
Where did you grow up? And well, let's just start with where'd you grow up?
That's a hard question, but it's gonna be long. So well, I'll start from the beginning. When I was 5 years old, we moved to New York, where my dad was already working as a veterinary doctor, and
Oh,
from there we
but
just
you moved
spent like
from
3 months there.
just
Hmm?
from you said you moved to New York, but where did you move from?
Niger. I was born
Okay.
in Niger and I grew up in Niger until 5 years old, and then from New York, we moved to Canada, Montreal, but not exactly Montreal, like the South Shore. You
South
see
Shore.
my French? The South Shore of Montreal, in first Longueuil and
Yeah.
then Brossard. Yes,
And
ouais, Brossard. And
okay.
then when I was in secondaire 2, grade grade 2 in high school, yeah,
In high school, so
uh,
that would be secondaire 2, that's grade 8.
grade 8. When I was in grade 8, um, in 2013, we moved to Niger. My sister, I have two big sisters. One's that like 3 years older than me, and the other is 6 years older 6 years older than me. And yes, the one that's like closer to me, the middle one, my mom and me, we moved to Niger because my dad found a job there. So, well, first in Burkina Faso, and then from Burkina Faso, he got to go to Niger because my dad, he didn't like Canadian winter, let's say.
I understand. I am
Yeah,
born and I
yeah.
understand.
Like one of the things he told me is like he was one day he was like removing the snow
Yeah.
before going to like the night before going to work, and he was just like questioning his life, like I wasn't made for that, like just to live in like a cold country like that. So yeah, he was happy to go back there. I wasn't really happy to go back there.
So it's been a while since you've been there. I mean, at this point, you've been living in Canada for a number of years.
Yeah, that's
So
all I've known. So it was very disorienting. Like it was a life experience, to be honest. I was 13 years old, yes, and yeah, it was a shock. But now that I look back to it, I'm very, very grateful for that because it made me who I am, and it like opened my horizons, my horizon.
yeah,
Yeah. And so yeah, we moved to Niger, right, in 2013.
yeah.
I stayed there for six, no, 5 years. I stayed there for 5 years, and it was during this time that I started modeling. When I was 15 years old, yes, I went to Spain with a friend that I met in Niger. She
Yeah.
kind of had the same story as me, just that it was like Spanish version. She was 16 years old and she didn't speak French or any language from Niger, so it was even worse for her.
You guys
And
meet. So
mhm,
she was. So she had moved to Niger, and that's where you guys met, and
yes,
you
yes, we
befriended.
were like, oh my god, you is me is you. And yeah, she was a model too. Like we really looked like people thought that we were twins or like sisters or stuff like that. And yeah, she was speaking to me in Spanish and I was speaking to her in French. So I learned Spanish with her and she learned French with me. And yeah, when she had to go for like holidays in Spain, her mom invited me, so I went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was 15. And yeah, that's when I first started modeling. I went with her at a photo shoot that she had, and the photographer wanted to shoot me again, so I did my first photo shoot. And after that, my first job
Yeah.
was it's actually funny. I was in a hijabi at that time. I was
Well, I did want to ask. So yeah, go ahead. I
yeah, it
wanted to
was
ask
for
what like
mm,
what role religion played for you as you were growing up as
yeah, at
well.
that time it didn't really have like a huge role. Like it wasn't that like important. I mean, it was important, but I wasn't like practicing it that much.
But you were born
So
into the Muslim. You were born into the Muslim faith.
yeah, I was. And yes, the first job that I had was for a karaoke in McDonald's. That was, yeah, yeah, in Alicante in Spain. That was the first my first gig. And then yeah, after the holiday I went back to Niger, and but that time I was alone. So yeah. And about how I started wearing the hijab and all this, it was in 2017, yes, during
Oh, wait, hold
Ramadan.
on. I'm gonna back up a second. You said you went back to Niger and you were alone, but your family, your mom and your sister were with
Oh no,
you.
no, by alone. Well, I was just with my mom because my dad, he travels a lot with work, because now he's like in a thing, it's called Mercy Corps. It's like the United Nation kind of thing, like UNICEF
Okay.
kind of thing, to help countries develop and stuff like that. So I was just with my mom, and my sister. She went back to Canada after like 6 months. She was with my other sister. Yeah.
Wasn't
So yeah, I was kind of alone because yeah, I had that that rebellious teenage philosophy of like, you either send me back to Canada or I'm not studying. So yeah, I spent 3 years, yeah, 3 years without going to school. Well, 2 years and 2 years ish. And where was I in my narration?
when did you start wearing your hijab, or when did
Yes,
religion play a bigger part in your life?
it was in the 2017 during the month of Ramadan, when Muslim fast. And well, at that time, like I had like my faith started growing, and I wrote the Quran, the Islamic book, in French, because my first language is French, from the beginning to the end. And yes, before like the end of the Ramadan, I was like, yeah, I want to get closer to God. Like maybe it's the time for me to start wearing the hijab and just like show him how much like I can sacrifice for him and how much I love him.
What
So it's like,
brought that on? Was there something that happened? Like what made it for you that at this point in your life you're like, this is, I want to explore this more. I want to feel closer.
oh, it was being like in depression. Yeah, I was kind of like very, very like troubled and stuff. And my mom was always like, yeah, like you can come back to like Allah. I mean, no matter like how many sins you've committed, no matter how far you went from him, like he's gonna welcome you. And I was like, yo, like during last Ramadan I didn't like pray or anything. You think like, oh, now because I'm sad I'm gonna go back to him and he's gonna be like, yeah, it's cool. I was like, no. But it stick in my mind. So when she was at work and I was alone at home, like desperate, just like, what am I doing in this country? I can't take it no more. I thought about what she said and I was like, you know what, just, I mean, you have nothing to lose, so just try it. And that's when I started praying slowly, like maybe sometimes like one time a week, and like reading a few verses of the Quran. But I was still not like very practicing or anything. And and yeah, during the Ramadan, when I completed the reading, yeah, I decided to start wearing it, but like just only for him. At first, when I started wearing the hijab, I was actually not like wearing it like I am right now. I was wearing the big stuff, you know, like the very long hijab and stuff. I was just like, I don't care about anything. Like I don't try to please the society. I just try to please God. Like I was really like peaceful and focused on my goal, that was like, that is still like going to paradise. So yeah, I started wearing the hijab in 2017, and I stopped modeling too, because at that time it wasn't really a thing being a hijabi model. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't much hijabi models, and
Did you try to look for work at that time? Like when you decided to start wearing it, did you try to look for work, or did you just decide like, I don't think that there's really a place for me?
oh yeah, I know, I wasn't really thinking about modeling that much at that time. I
Mm.
was thinking about going back to Canada. That was my main thing. And yes, that was in 2017. And then after that, yeah, another thing is my parents, when I was in Asia and I was telling them that I wanted to go back to Canada, they were always telling me, you're like still mineur, um,
Uh,
minor.
Minor, yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
still minor, and we can't send you there. Like you like as long as you're minor, you have to stay with us, that are like your parents and stuff. So I had that thing in my mind that as soon as I'm gonna turn 18,
Wow.
I'm gonna fly. So yes, it happened like that. In 2017 is also when I decided to go back to school, and it was actually quite intense because I did like what people are supposed to do in a lot of years, like many years,
Mhm.
in 4 months. Yeah, in 4 months. Because there
You
was there's,
when you said you went back to school, so at this point you're at what stage of your schooling when you decided to go back?
I was supposed to be in secondaire, secondaire 5, secondaire 4, secondaire 4, secondaire 5, like that.
Grade 10, grade 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's this thing in the French system, because in Niger there's it's the French system that they use.
Mhm.
Baccalauréat en candidat libre. It's like free candidate for the A level.
Yeah.
The A level, that's what you need to enter university.
Okay.
Yeah,
I,
it was in there's like the science option, the literature option, and the economic option. Yeah,
mm,
and I choose the literature because I love philosophy, history, and all these things. So my dad took, well, actually my parents, both of them, took me some teachers at home. uh, my mom put my candidature, my
yeah.
applied for me. Yeah, she applied for me.
Yeah.
She put my name as like the candidate for the certificate. And yeah, I started studying. Like literally, I was studying from like morning to dawn every day, nonstop, just drinking coffee, reading. I had like friend groups. I wasn't even like going to regular school. It was only like one time a week or 2 times a week that I would go in the class there that they had practice. I'd invite some friends that were doing it too, um, and reading a lot of books. I was reading like Maupassant, Nelson Mandela autobiography, um, Méditation métaphysique of Descartes, and all these books. And yeah, I did the I Mhm,
Independent. It feels like
mhm.
you were very independent early on. Like it seems like you were very independent at an early age, like making decisions as to you were going to school. I mean that there's a lot. It's I mean it says a lot for somebody who's a teenager to kind of to make these decisions for themselves in their life, and I guess also gives you more responsibility over
Yeah, being
over
like determined. But yeah, the thing, like what made me like not see anything as like too big is because in my mind I'm like, God can give me anything. Like I'm not gonna like restrict my prayers or what I wish for, because like if he can create the universe, he can give me my certificate. He can make me go to Italy. He can like give me a private jet, right? He can give me anything. So I really don't limit my hopes and expectations. So I had the degree, I had the certificate, and then I was like, okay, like I went to my parents and I was like, like I did that, I have it now, I'm 18, what's left to do.
filled all the requirements.
Yeah, I had my hopes, so like my hopes were super like high, but my dad opinion didn't really change, because he said that if I go to Canada, I'm probably gonna struggle, because I'm gonna be like I'm not gonna be with my parents. I'm gonna have to pay a lot of things and stuff like that. And there was like an American university in the city he was in, Maradi. So he wanted me to go there. And he said, we can see for this, like the second year, maybe we're gonna send you in Canada. But for the moment, it's better for you to stay here with us. At first, I said, okay, like I accepted. But then the more I would think about it, and also knowing that it was very expensive, I didn't want to like waste their money if I knew I wasn't gonna study. So I went back to them again. I was like, actually, I don't think I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna stay here for like more years. Like, don't waste your money. I'm not gonna do it. And I said, like, I want to go back to Canada. He said, well, I'm not gonna send you back to Canada. I said, all right, well, I'm gonna like find my way. And yeah, the worst thing is that my Canadian passport was expired, and I didn't have a job, so I didn't have money. So it was, and also the Canadian embassy was closed in Niger, so there was no way I could like renew it from Niger. I had to go like in another country, like Senegal, for example, that they had an embassy there. And I had a friend in Senegal who said that I could come to her house and do it from there. So, but I didn't have the money for the plane ticket. So my childhood friend, Miriam, shout out to her, she she like lent me the money for the flight ticket
Yeah.
to from Niger to Senegal. And there, well, my friend, she took me, so I stayed at her house. So yeah, my dad was like, what I liked with that is that although he didn't like do it for me, he was like, I'm not gonna like, if you like so determined you think you can do things by yourself, then go on. I'm gonna like go print for you all your documents that I have and stuff like that. And yeah, like if you think you can do it, go ahead. So he really gave me that freedom, and that's what I did. I went to Senegal, and I was supposed to stay there just for like 2 weeks, 2 months maximum. But I found a job there as an interpreter. It was
Oh,
for an American company. It was on the phone, so I had to interpret like for medical scenarios, police scenarios, a lot of things like that. And like basically, I would just like pick up the phone, like, "Hello, this is your French interpreter, Rakia. ID number. No, 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 no. How may I assist you?" And then I'll just like sometimes I will receive call like, "Hello, this is the police. No, 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 no. We're doing an
okay.
investigation. We're in front of
Oh, so you have to do interpretation for the police as well. Like
yeah, so
that makes
many scenarios. It was insane. And sometimes the call would be like 1 hour, 2 hours. It was really like intellectually challenging, and you have to like take notes, listen, stop them sometimes, and like restore them. You have to speak in the first person, in the first tense, um, like you don't say he said, you say like
you
you just repeat what the person
yeah,
says.
yes.
And yeah, I worked there for 6 months. So in total, I stayed in Senegal for 10 months. And well, at a moment, I just became like tired of Senegal. I mean, it wasn't my destination, right? It wasn't like
It's
I
not
was just
a stopping
mm,
point. It was meant to be a
yeah,
stopping point in order for you to get back to Canada.
exactly. It became like a routine and all this. I was just like, I need to just travel. I just need like fresh air, see something new. And at that time, that's when I discovered a thing called au pair. A lot of people don't know what it is in Canada or in the US because it's not that common. But it's like basically you live with a family that have like children, and you have
Yeah.
to take the kids to school, bring them back, sometimes help with like house chores or house chores, chores.
So it's a live-in babysitter.
Yes,
Yeah.
living babysitter, exactly. But also like the good thing about it is that you don't need to pay like food, housing. You get pocket money, and you get to like really be into a new culture. Because when you go to a country, like of course you can talk to a lot of people, but when you leave, because it's when you live with the people that you really see like how their culture and stuff like that, how they behave, everything about them. And yeah,
It's a way
that's when I discovered that.
it's a way to learn. It's another way to
Yeah,
learn.
to learn
Really.
exactly. If you're interested in the culture, that's like one of the best options, and that you're like not like a millionaire.
Let me
So
ask
yeah.
you, so all of this is going on. When do you get back to decide, or what leads you back to modeling?
Oh, I was always doing modeling. Yeah, I didn't precise in Senegal. But I was doing it as a freelance, like
Yeah.
through Instagram. I would contact some brands, and they'll say if they want to shoot with me or not. And yeah, I had I think just 3 photo shoot when I was in Senegal. But yeah, it added to my portfolio, which I liked. And
Well, what
yeah,
made you decide? Because I know when you started wearing the hijab, you had, I mean, at that point, you were really thinking about your religion and getting back in touch with Allah. So what led you then to decide, hey, I can wear my hijab and model at the same time?
I think it was well, like there was a lot more representation. Like between 2017 and 2019, that's when it really started a lot. Like the hijabi models representation, and I shoot my shot, and it worked out. And so where was I?
Would you say
Um,
you were in Senegal? So it was easier, obviously, I'm taking it while you were in Senegal to start as well, modeling with the hijab.
yes, I think yeah, because a lot of people wear the hijab there, and
Yeah.
it's it's not like if they like you, then they like you, like whether you have the hijab or not. And a lot of them also wanted to show like inclusivity. So yeah, and yeah, that's after 10 months there, I moved to Spain. I found a family there, a host family. I moved there. I stayed for 6 months, 5, 6 months like that. And I got tired again. I was like, oh yes, in Spain also I've been modeling. And yeah, regarding the challenges that I had in hijabi modeling, I think it was mostly in Spain because it's not as international as the UK or Canada. And yeah, it wasn't that inclusive, I'd say. There wasn't many, I don't even remember any hijabi model there. And also, like, I had an agency. That was my first time signing with an agency. No, my second time. Yeah, my second or my third. No, yeah, my second time signing with an agency. I already signed with an agency in New York, but I've never met with them, and we never got the chance to work together. And yeah, the challenge that I had is that, like, all the time my agency would send me things or like call me and be like, oh yeah, like there's a client that's interested, it's for like a hair salon. Like what? He's like, yeah, can you like wear like wigs? I was like, well, well, no, I can't, I wear the hijab. And I was like, okay, sorry.
So
And I'll be
let me ask
disappointed.
you this is something, I mean, in working with you,
Mhm.
it was something a question that came to my mind. I was wondering, how do you select the jobs or the contracts that you take? And even with your agency, how do they like, how do they present you to clients? And I mean, if your agent wants to send you out for a job where you have to remove your hijab, I mean, then I'm taking it they don't have a full understanding of what the hijab means for you
Mhm.
and how you wear it. So even when you approach an agency, how does that discussion go? And do you tell, like, do you speak to them and say, like, this is what I do, this is what I show, this is what I don't show, these are the types of jobs? How does that all transpire for you? How does that progress?
It's just naturally, like, I as soon as like I talk to them and they ask me like, oh yeah, like do you keep this? I'm like, yeah, yes, like I'm a hijabi model. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, sure, sure, no worries, yeah, sure. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, cool. Well, that's what happened in Spain. But then after that, I mean, it never happened after with my other agencies, because I think they had a better knowledge about what wearing the hijab mean. But there in Alicante where I was, they didn't. So I think it was more about like ignorance than them trying to like make me remove my hijab.
Uh,
And yeah, even like, mhm.
then I'm going to ask you this: what does wearing the hijab mean for you? Because I mean, for some people, they, a lot of people, I mean, because a lot of people, I mean, yes, the Muslim faith is one of the largest faiths in the world. But when we speak about North America and even in Europe, some people don't even understand what wearing the hijab means. Is it required? Is it not required? Like, whose choice is it? So what
Yes,
does it
in Canada, like one of the agency asked me like, oh, is it like a choice, or was it like were you forced to wear it? But they were the only agency that asked me that. The one in Spain, they didn't ask me. The question will come more from like a random stranger on Instagram, be like, like, I don't think you should like hide your hair and like cover, like you shouldn't be that oppressed, no, no, no. And I'll just answer to them like kindly and politely, be like, because I know it's ignorance, I'll just try to like give them knowledge. Or even in the street, I have like people randomly, like one time it happened to me in Spain, someone came to me and was like, uh oye guapa, ¿dónde está tu novio? Like, which means, hey beauty, not your novio, tu marido, like where is your husband? And I was like, and then I just start laughing and just like walk back home. I was like, oh my God, I didn't
so
even
what does
answer.
that mean for you? So if somebody, like somebody who doesn't know, or somebody who's, watching this or is learning, what does it mean for you? And what was your choice to wear it?
Um, well, the hijab means for me like my identity as a Muslim, because like apart from what I show to the world, and like how I show myself when I interact with the society, when I'm alone and I'm like by myself, my own person, I'm like, religion is really important for me. I try to pray, read the Quran, like talk to God a lot. And for me, it's like a reflection of my real identity that I have. Like, I have it on my head, and it's just like directly that I'm a Muslim, who I am. So it's, yeah, it's my identity. And also, mm, well, I'm also like, apart from like the fact that it's Islamic, I'm also like, I really like modest fashion. Like, I like to wear modest clothes and stuff like that. So yeah, it's both.
So what is modest? I know. but I'm just for people because I want people to understand. Like I want people to have your perspective and kind of
Yeah.
understand where you're coming from.
Um,
So what
for
is
me,
modern fashion?
for me, modest is like I feel like I don't need to show like I decide what people get to see from me or not. Like it, I feel empowered by like I wear a lot of oversized clothes sometimes. Like on a daily basis, I love oversized clothes. I just feel like so empowered that like you can't see any of my shape. You can't see anything. It's just like me as a person and not as a body. I feel like I'm less objectified
Mm. So people
by
have to
hiding
interact with you and not an
and not
idea,
like yeah.
not the physical you, but actually maybe more who you
Hmm.
are as a person inside, internally, not just the
Hmm.
external.
Yes, I'd rather get like complimented like for my outfits because it's like cool than oh yeah like you have like a bomb body or stuff like that. Yeah.
See that. I think the other thing I wanted to know, so when you are on shoots, because even for me, I do have I have an understanding or a background of what modesty fashion is, and I do have family members who are Muslim. And I was curious for you when you're on a shoot, like, can a person not touch you in a particular way? Like sometimes it can be very personal. Sometimes you have models who, like especially in a show, or they have to change, and
Yes.
it's not
Uh,
necessarily the most modest environment in terms of there's not time in it. It's nothing sexual. It's a question of being efficient on a set, and
yeah,
sometimes
totally.
the
Yeah,
stylist
or
has
even like
to
changing the clothes and stuff. Well, what I've noticed from like my first runway in Niger, well, my second when I was a hijabi at that time, with the other model is that I would hide to change because there's like male models and like women.
yeah.
So a lot of them like I was shocked. Obviously, I'm not judging because we're all free. Like we're in a free society. Everyone can do anything they want as long as they respect the rules. Yeah.
Like,
But like a lot of them were like not wearing anything like when they would change like they just didn't care and it was also outside the runway so they were like not wearing anything outside with like all the men and women like the models and stuff and I was just like I can't do this so I would go back like and hide myself and change or even like on other photo shoots it's the same it's just I would go in a car
yeah.
remember
So I remember.
although you had
You
that
brought
that
your
too
tent.
maybe
You brought your
that
tent.
thing
Yeah.
that that you had
Yeah.
with the photographer was amazing. Like
Yeah.
it's a real life hack that you just go there and you have like a changing room in the middle of the street. That's great. And yeah, I would just change by myself, and I wouldn't mind like being touched because I mean it's just to get the clothes on like by a woman obviously, but I wouldn't mind if it's just like to fix a thing or like even just like if I have a hijab like my hijab like that just to put it back or help me get dressed. I don't mind about that at all. Yeah.
Have you ever had to refuse a contract because you're like, I can't do that?
Oh yeah, totally. So many. Even here in Montreal, I think two of them. They were like, yeah, we have like short dresses and stuff because it was during the summer collection, and they were like, would you be able to? And I was like, no, I'm sorry, no. And they said, oh well, it won't work because, but maybe for the fall collection because it's gonna be more modest. And well in Spain it wasn't like the hair salon thing wasn't the only thing. They even had like they asked me if I could wear transparent clothes. I was like I was like well I said well yes I guess if I have like leggings and like a long sleeve shirt under and they were like no no just with ropa interior and that's when I learned the meaning of that word because I didn't know it. I was like ropa interior. I look on Google and it said like underwears. I was like what like underwears with transparent stuff and my hijab and doing that so I refused that one and the third one was the and that time I went again on Google to look for the meaning of that word and like yeah if you can like show las piernas and I was like, piernas. I was like, piernas. That looks like pied in French, like the foot, the feet. So I looked online, but pierna is actually the legs. I was like, I can't show my legs. And they're like, oh, okay, well, sorry. And yeah, that was the three times that they
So
asked for.
what can, or I mean, I'm making it clear that this is a choice that you're following. What is it that you can and cannot, or what have you chosen to show and not show in
Oh,
as hijab? And is
for the
that like, is that kind of understood amongst all hijabi models, or do different hijabi models make different choices?
yeah, some of them like would wear the turban. Some of them will show a little bit of hair. Show them will wear short sleeve. It's really like it matter like it depends on the person. But for me, I try. I mean, I'm not doing it all the time to like show my not show my neck. As long as I can. I'm not like I did a few photo shoots where I was showing some of my neck, and I really like the pictures, so it's kind of hard to remove them. But from now, yes, I really want to like hide my neck and my arms, my legs, my feet if I can. I'm still showing the feet, but I would like to like in the future stop showing my feet as well. And yeah, that's pretty much all. And yeah, we're the also why I really like insist to wear the hijab like that is because it's my identity. When I wear it as a turban, anyone can wear a turban. It doesn't mean you're a Muslim when you wear the turban. So yeah, the Islamic thing like that, it really shows my identity. I'm not like putting my identity aside for a shoot.
So from what I'm understanding, is that you have a lot of pride in your religion, and it's a lot of who you are, and
Mhm.
yes, it's your, I feel, or I'm understanding that it's your connection to your religion, but it's also showing pride in who you are,
Mhm.
and the faith that keeps you grounded and keeps
Exactly.
you grounded. So, I
Yeah.
mean, overall, how would you say that the fashion industry has received you, like overall,
Oh,
and from what I'm hearing, it's different in different places of the world depending on where you're modeling. Because I know you also spend time in London,
yeah,
and
that's where I was gonna come up because
yeah,
this is the answer to that question is really like London. Yeah, I just because my real modeling experience was like I mean by real I mean that I like Fashion Week, a lot of castings, like 1 hour line of casting, like having my model cards printed and my portfolio and all those things. It was in London during what? Wait, let me see. Yeah, it was Fashion Week September, the first Fashion Week when I was there, and
what year was this?
mm,
What year was this? You said it was in
oh, that was
September.
yeah. I just actually like now I'm in Montreal, Canada, but I just came back here in March, at the end of March
Oh,
during the beginning of the pandemic.
so
So,
2019. So in
mm,
2019, so in 2019, you're in London, and this
yeah,
is your.
2019, 2020, like that year, 2019, 2020. Um, what I've experienced is with the hijab, let's say. Like there was castings that like clearly the client was like really into like body showing and stuff like the casting director, which I'm not like the I'm not gonna name obviously, but it's a very known brand. He was asking the models to wear like a night dress, a night a beige dress, and ask them to walk. So like he told me to walk, but he was clearly not gonna pick me up because he didn't even make me try the
The light,
dress he wanted.
so to like
Yeah,
a light beige dress that you had to wear. I take it was
yeah,
pretty.
like very very short. And another time I was in line, but that was only for the hijab. That was also like for being black. To be honest, I'm gonna develop. I was with like two other friends, well, models. They were the same casting as me. One was light skin, and the other was like black hijabi, and there was other like black models. And yeah, the brand that brand they were like we noticed because we would see like it was a very huge casting. I think like with 1,000 girls, there was a lot of clients, and we had to like do a line, be seen, and then go to the next line and like do all the lines. And that brand they wouldn't pick up the cards of any girl with like dark skin color, and it wasn't by accident because like you could literally see they only wanted very like fair skin, light skin, blonde girls with light eyes. Like that was the only cards that they were picking up, and I was like, okay, maybe we're just being like judgmental. Let me check up
So they
their
were only
Instagram
picking, I
page.
mean, when you say with blonde hair and light colored eyes, I'm taking they were only picking white models at that time.
Yeah, not even like a little bit like okay, you don't like black, maybe you like light skin. No, no, no. They just don't like anything that's like colored, I would say. And yeah, I was like, maybe we're just being judgmental. Let me check up their brand online, like on their website and Instagram. Maybe like we're gonna like be proved that we're wrong. But when I went there was literally no color. It was the same thing, blonde, light, and like blue eyes. Sometimes it was like brown hair, but even they're like very like white. So yeah, that was clearly like because she didn't take any cards, and there was a lot of girls. So yeah, that was clearly like racism. Well,
You have this,
discrimination.
you
Mhm.
have this section of being a woman of color and a hijabi model. So I mean that could sometimes be seen as like a double whammy of things.
Literally, but it
No,
can
when we
be
talk about this kind of margin of being marginalized, like so
exactly,
does
but
it
it can
mean
be also like a good thing in a way. Like I don't know if it's a fact, but I thought about it that like if a brand wants to like show inclusivity, they don't need to take like two models, a hijabi and a black. They can just take me and they have like two more, right? So they're showing like double inclusivity in one shot.
no,
So it can be a good thing, but for those that like they're not even gonna look at me. Yeah.
no. Um so let me ask you then, what do you what would you like? I mean, when we talk about fashion in the fashion industry, what
Hmm.
would you like the fashion industry to know about working with a hijabi model?
Mm, that is just like working with any other models if you're like looking for the performance, the yeah the qualification. If if she has experience, then you like you have a great shoot because like it she's a model. Apart from the fact that she wears the hijab, she's a model, so you can get amazing shoot, like a very great shoot. But it's just that like she's gonna model for the clothes that are more modest, or if you want to show some clothes and show that they can be like wear like that people can wear it in different ways, then it's also good because she can just wear something under, and then other people that don't necessarily want to show their body will know that there's this option. So yeah, but it's the same thing, just that oh, and also like to try not to like ask them to do things like if they see that, because some other models, hijabi model, might not be like as how it's like as strong like in their affirmation as me. Like if
Mm.
the client asks them like, oh yeah, can you like wear short sleeves, they're just gonna be like, they're not gonna want to, but they're probably gonna do it just because of the pressure. So if like the client sees that she's a bit uncomfortable, just like be like, okay, but it's up to you, I don't mind, and see how she reacts to that. Yeah.
So I don't know, ask the question beforehand, or is that something you like to
Yeah.
establish before you start taking on a shoot?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Ask the question and just be like open with what she feels more comfortable doing, because she might take the pictures and then after that not like wanted to see them or like regret it. So yeah.
so, I mean, with all of this and thinking about how you kind of have to approach and talk to people about what you will do and what you won't do, why
Hmm.
do this? Is this like, do you do this? I guess I'm wondering, what is your motivation for modeling? Is it just something you
Oh,
enjoy doing? Is it like, is
oh,
there,
it's a mix. It's something that I always enjoyed doing since I was I think like 14 years old. I wanted like to do modeling because I liked it. I just because I think it really fits the modeling. A thing about modeling is that it really depends on like people personality. Some people will have like a much harder time doing it because it's just like a fact. If you don't really like to be taken in picture, having attention towards you, or like being out there, if you like to be like more behind the camera than in front of the camera, then even if you have the look, it's not the best thing, because like everything about modeling is just showing confidence, um, like not being scared of like being out there doing strange thing. When you have to pose and do like crazy things like that, just do it. um being creative, show different poses. And yeah, again, confidence is very important. Even if you don't have it, just like fake it until you make it. And yeah,
why do
that's the
you
thing
think
I
you do
was
it?
saying. Hmm?
So what is your motivation for doing it? Like
Yeah, uh, right
as
now
a
my motivation.
as a
It's
woman who wears a hijab and you're a woman of color and opportunities may or may not be
well,
as
totally. If I would have to answer that question, it would be that it's for to show representation and show that you can like you can be beautiful and wear the hijab. You don't need to like put away your identity to fit in the society. You can follow fashion, you can love makeup and all these things, and still be a hijabi and still keep your identity and like wear modest clothes. I really want to show inclusivity, but saying that alone like wouldn't be total because apart from like my wish to do that change and like in like everywhere I go to do that change of showing more representation, it's also really a personal thing that I just it's just like my
something.
personality. I love to like even just for fun I would do it literally. Just I love to like act. It's a kind of acting, just pose, try different clothes, different makeup, joke
Do you do
around.
acting? Is that
Hmm?
something you would do later? Is that something that you're interested in, like moving into acting or something like that later on?
Yes, yes, I thought about it, but I don't have the talent like that.
Have you tried?
Hmm?
Have you ever tried
Um,
acting? You tried
I
it?
think
You
yeah,
have
like
not?
alone in my room at 2 a.m. You know, when you're like
Okay.
doing like word search on Google, and yeah, I don't have the talent or like the memorization capacity. But for advertisings and stuff, like when you have to, because it's acting, it's just shorter. So for that, I would love to do it, like advertising or like campaign and stuff like that, or like presentation, like movie, not TV reporter,
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Would love to.
I think so something I'm going to ask you right now because there's, I mean, there's a lot going on, and especially in here in North America right now. At the time that we are talking, everybody's watching what is going on south of the border, and I mean, there's a lot going on all over the world. We're in a pandemic. We've had different movements come forward, and I'm curious. There's two questions I want to ask you, and one is, how are you feeling about that right now? Like, what makes you stressed or anxious, or does it make you stressed or anxious, any of these things that are going on? Like, how does it make you feel with all this cross section of things that are going on, and being a woman of color who's working on, being present to represent and to show diversity, and there's all these changes happening. How are you feeling lately about everything that's going on?
Um, I mean, what's affecting me at this moment about what's going on in the world, um, especially, well, in all the world actually, is like the discrimination against Muslims and the attacks against Muslims and all these things, like being criminalized just for the fact that you're a Muslim. That really affects me because like even here in Quebec, it's starting well, it started in 2019, that law 2021 by François Legault, that says that
Yes.
you can't wear any religious sign. Like it affects like every religious person that like shows their faith, but like especially Muslim women, like in particular, that they cannot be like teachers or work in anything in the government.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think that this law makes sense because it's just not logical. Like it's not logic. Like how am I disturbing others by just wearing the hijab? How can it be considered like going against the law for me to wear something on my head, like to practice my religion without bothering anyone? I don't think that law makes sense, and I think it's just um, Islamophobia and racism being disguised. I actually can't even believe that it's a thing because anyone with like that thing that reflects on it is gonna be like, I mean, just it doesn't make sense at all. It's just
Well,
pure racism.
I'm going to ask the question. I mean, when they see it as being, if you work for government, then you're a representative of the government, and
Hmm.
representative of the government, if the government is supposed to be secular,
Yeah.
and you wearing a religious symbol reflects on the government and therefore maybe puts your religion on the government. That's some arguments.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I know. Exactly.
what
About
do you
this
say to somebody
argument,
who says this?
they say that like yeah, the François Legault government is saying that like yeah, it has to be neutral. Like they don't want religion to be involved in the government and stuff. But the thing is, there's no like, me wearing the hijab doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be neutral in my decisions in when I work. Like even someone that doesn't wear any religious sign might do actions that are motivated by personal reason. Like I don't know, like police brutality. They don't have any religious sign, but they would do things out of pure racism. So I don't think for someone to be wearing a religious sign makes them like not able to like act neutrally. Yeah.
So I'm going to move on to, because we have met each other because you contacted Silk Laundry and we were very happy to work with you.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to what attracted you to Silk Laundry.
Oh, it's everything. It's everything. No, literally, I scrolled on the Instagram and I was looking at the designs, like the way she designed it, the design, yeah, the design. I really loved it. It's very classy. It's elegant, chic. So yeah, I thought I'll shoot my shot and see if I can model for that brand. I was actually really happy that she like contacted me back, because I always have that little thing of like some type of brand that like might have like a clientele, like a customer base that are more like mm, Western and stuff like that, are not really gonna like show a black hijabi model, because it's a lot of statement, like one shot, you know, because some of their clients might not be that open, or yeah, open like for like Muslims stuff, like Islam and black people. So yeah, I don't know if it's only in my mind. I don't know if it's a fact, but it's just always like a little fear that I have. So I was really happy to see that she actually wanted to work with me and like show me as a model for her brand.
Excellent. And let me ask you something. What we work at at Silk Laundry, we see it as kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I'll use the term holistic approach when we talk about diversity and inclusion. We also talk about sustainability because we see how all of these things kind of work together. And I'm curious as when this conversation of sustainability, and again with everything that's going on in the world, how does that enter into your life, or does it? Like, is that something that you think about? Or kind of
Yes, it is. It is. It like on the moral view and also on the religious view, because I believe that we have to like respect the earth, I mean, like in my religious view, you're not allowed to like even harm a tree. Like there's even a hadith about that you're not supposed to be harming trees, and you have to respect the nature. You can't destroy it. Yeah. So I think it's very important to have sustainable brands more and more.
And what do you do in your life in terms of
Oh,
from the
I
what do you
shop a lot. I shop a lot in well, I used to. Now with the COVID, I don't really go out to shop, but in charity shops. I mean, we call it charity shops in London, but yeah, in
and or vintage stores here?
yeah, thrift,
Thrift shop.
thrift. Yeah, I shop a lot there because I think it's better if I reuse it. Like if then go buy it new. Like it can be the same quality, and that way I'm not like purchasing more stuff.
Yeah, which is good. Reusing is always good. It's, cut down on waste.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ask you something now, kind of like, what do they get wrong? What do they get right? And this is, we're gonna in terms of you, right? Because we are talking about you and we're learning about you and kind of your experience and your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So what do they get right? What did they get wrong about you, your family? Like, how are things with your family? How do they see that even you doing this modeling? How does
Oh,
religion?
my family view on me being a model,
Yeah,
right?
and just what do they get right about who you are and what you're doing as a model, and maybe what do they get wrong about it, or how they
Um,
see it?
well, my two big sisters, they're like super proud. They're super happy. They're like, "Yay, that's my sis" and stuff. And my sister, that's like 3 years older than me, she's been a model too for a
Mm,
few years, but now she kind of stopped. And my dad is kind of like very much against it. But as I mentioned before, he's also like someone that lets you like do your thing. Like he's not the type of controlling that's gonna be like, you do that, like I said, like he knows that there's no point in doing that because you can't control another human. So yeah, he would advise, but then he wouldn't really mind. I just like, let's say sometimes like if I send him my photo shoot pictures, like he won't answer. I know he's an introvert, so he's not that like talkative and stuff as my mom and me were really like extroverts. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if it's because of modeling or if it's just that he's just not like interacting that much. And yeah, he's not. I mean, when we had the chance to talk about it, he wasn't really for it because he don't want like his daughter to be like shown everywhere and stuff like that. So yeah, I respect his position. And my mom, she's been supporting me since day one. I mean, she's like she has like a mixed view on it. Sometimes she'd be like, like, are you sure that like you want to do it? Because you know, there's a lot of people seeing you and stuff. Like it's better to be low key. And yeah, she would say that sometimes, but also she supports me since like my first runway when I was in Niger. That was before I started wearing the hijab. She was in the VIP section like of the runway, and she was texting me like when I was in the backstage. She was like, "Yes, always with that smile, gorgeous." She was really like proud. And even now, when I send her my picture, she's like, "Oh my god, like, oh, wow, this is like this. You're my daughter." And like she's like, can I share this with my friend? I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Can I share it with like the rest of the family? I'm like, yeah, sure, you go. So yeah, I'm always happy when I have a photo shoot. She's like one of the first person I send the videos to. Even yeah, the when I had the photo shoot for Silk Lingerie, I sent her like a few of the back BTS behind the scene, and she was like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. Like she really loved the one with the horses,
Yeah,
that outfit. She really loved it.
good. Friends. What
Mhm.
do your friends get right and get wrong? I mean,
Oh,
I'm curious as to, like, your friends, are a lot of your friends, are they Muslim as well, or do you have friends from all different backgrounds? And how does that how do they see you, and what do you think they get right or wrong? And what do you think they get wrong when talking with you, or just
about
about you?
modeling.
About you, well, you being a Muslim woman, and that's being
Uh,
a part of your identity.
well, I have friends from all background. Like that friend Miriam that I talked about like before. She's Quebecois, and she's I mean she's mixed like atheist, and also spiritual, like believing in the universe and stuff. So yes, I mean I think she kind of gets most of my personality right because we grew up together since I was 8 years old. So she knows me from like primary school. So I think she can understand. I'm also like I really express my view the same way she expressed how she sees the world, her beliefs. We have very like um interesting conversation. I tell her my views, she tell her her views, and yeah, she has a good view of me, like not good in the like positive, but like clear.
Reveal,
And
yeah, an understanding of where you're
yeah, other friends that like I know from high school, but like we're not that close, they think that like modeling is like I don't know, they see modeling as being very, very glamorous and like everything you see in magazines when it's I'm so used to it that I'm not that I don't know, for me it's not a big deal in a way that it's just like the thing I do like on the side and I like it and I enjoy. It's just a photo shoot, but for them it's like a photo shoot. You get it? Yeah, and yeah, that's my other friends, like my very, very close friends. It's like I have like a list of like let's say 4 or 5 very close friends, and as soon as I and like amongst them there's my mom, obviously. So as soon as I do my like photo shoots and I have BTS and stuff, I forward the pictures to all of them. I just like select the TikTok and I send them, and yeah, they give me their feedback.
um so I'm going to end off with kind of 3 questions,
Hmm.
um, and they're going to kind of seem all related, but because I think it's very important talk to different people. And when you talk about, you know, you and your friend Miriam, you talk about having conversations, she has a different understanding. I mean, she's almost an atheist, and you're somebody who has a very strong, uh, a very strong connection to your religion and your faith. But you guys have this chance to kind of speak and share ideas and communicate. So I'm going to give you these 3 questions, and you can kind of go through them and answer. But one, I wanted to know, how do you see yourself? And second, how do you think the world sees you? And third, how would you like to be seen?
Okay. First, how I see myself. I mean, it's quite complex. Like, would it be in the academical way, religious way, personality way?
I think just how who you are as a person. I mean, I know you talk about your faith being a part of your identity and who you are. So I'm curious as to, how do you see yourself as somebody who's just like, I am just about my religion and that's it, and I don't and I do this? But I mean, or are you just a woman who happens to be Muslim? Like, how do you see yourself?
How I see myself? It's a quite hard question, but I'll give it a try. First of all, I mean, I'll go with my personality. I see myself as like almost on the maximum thing of the like being an extrovert, because yeah, I really like to talk with other people, travel. When I travel, I talk with strangers like literally every day. Every time I have the chance, I always love to talk with them, but not like about small things. I would directly go about like philosophical subject, like what they think about life, about travel, about humans, about connection, about love, about literally anything. I love to talk with people and learn through them. So yes, I'm very extrovert. I always meet new people, talk with them, and I'm very talkative as well. I see myself as being very talkative, and a bit weird sometimes. Like I would mostly do the thing that are like outside of like what the society norms, like the protocol, let's say. Like, yeah, like things that most people wouldn't do. In Let me try to find an example. I can't find an example, but like, I don't know, things
Okay,
that
so
are not like common,
okay.
that it's not like illegal to do. It's just that most like people wouldn't do it because it's just like, why? Well, I would do it because I feel like I want to do it, and I can do it. You get.
Um, how do you think the world sees you?
um, 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 I think most people don't really like when the world sees me through like my social media. I think they don't really know like how I am in real life and how my friends see me, because it's quite different. Like strangers that would see me on Instagram would be like, oh yeah, she's a model and stuff like that. But my like my person is much different from that. Like it's not limited to my model life.
And how would you like to be seen?
How I would like to be seen.
How would you like people to take you in? How do you want?
How I would like people to see me. I would like people to see me more like my personality than just the beauty and fashion part. I like to show that like a little bit, but I would really like to like share my ideas, my jokes and stuff like that, like just like the real me. And yeah, coming back to the first question, how I see myself, I just answered like a little part, the personality. Also about like religious wise, I wouldn't say that I'm a like religious person like that. I don't see myself as being like the good Muslim that's like perfect, that's like so like I commit sins, and I'm very far from perfect. When I like do Islamic reminder or stuff like that or talk about Islam, it's just like me expressing myself. But yeah, that doesn't mean that I'm like a saint or something. I'm really not like that. And I also wouldn't like the way people see me. I wouldn't like people to see me as like the religious girl, because that would be false. I am not like that. I'm just trying. And yeah, I'm far from perfect. I'm not an angel, I'm a human.
I think that's pretty, that leaves it at a pretty good point. I'm gonna ask, I mean, I'm gonna say that's how I like to take people. So I'm always curious as to other people who may have had different experiences as me, you know, growing up, living life, for whatever, you know, I think underneath it all, we're the same, but the details are always a little bit different. So I'm always curious as to how people think they're perceived and how they want to be perceived.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess we've covered a lot. We've talked about a lot, and it's been really cool. Like I've learned so much about you, and it's been extremely interesting. You're 20 years old, and I think you've done a lot. And I think that you're going to continue to do a lot, which I think is amazing. And you don't hold back, which I also think is extraordinary. So, I mean, keep going because it's inspiring. So I'm going to ask, what inspires you?
In life.
Hmm.
Um, what inspires me? I think it's like perfecting my character. I know I will never be perfect, but like perfecting my character, try to get rid of my flaws and like the small sins that I commit, and yeah, stuff like that. Just like become a better person, more like merciful towards people, more loving, more sincere, without being naive, obviously. But like what inspires me is to become the woman that I want to be in the future. And I'm very, very far from that goal. So I think I have a lot of work to do, and it's inspiring in a way.
And small question, just because this is the time we're living in. What what was your life like before COVID, and what is your life like now, and what do you want? What are you looking to get back to? I'm pretty sure travel is number one on your list, but
That's a question. Well, how my life was. I mean, I'm still working on it, like I'm getting over it, and it's like we move, right? But my life before COVID was, because yeah, COVID came also with uni. So to answer that question, I'll have to say like my life before COVID and uni, because they're the two major things that like made me not like grounded.
I'm finding that word. You say your life before COVID and what?
Uni, college.
University.
So
Okay.
during
Yeah.
the past 2 years, after I had like my baccalaureate, I wasn't studying. I was just traveling, modeling, learning languages, talking with strangers in the street, um, making jokes and stuff. Like just like living life, right? And I didn't have any compromise. So my vision was like very like wider. I didn't had anything holding me, and I wasn't even sure if I wanted to go to uni. So I thought I could maybe just work as a translator interpreter without studying it at uni. So yeah, my life before was just anytime I would just get tired of living in a place, I'll just like I even did it a few times now that I'm here. I'm like, no, I'm staying here. I'm here to stay just at least 3 years. I'll get my degree, and yeah. But I would like just go on my phone, look at the like flight ticket, look at the country, go on that website for like the au pair thing, try to find a family, see like what they say about their life, see if I like them and stuff, and then send them a message. Look at the flight tickets one way. I always took one way before. I mean, except when I went to Italy, France, and stuff from London. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it was always one way. And I would just like anytime when you get in the bubble, you get like you get like I don't know used to where you are, your environment, everything is the same, and like you just want like to escape in a way. Well, I would just take a one way ticket and restart everything like with new people, new country, new mentality, new language, new everything. It was much easier because there's other challenges when you're in the same country
Mm.
that yeah you have to like accept more things. Yeah.
So I
And
guess
now,
now is pretty
uh,
much more stable.
yes,
You're-
yeah, it was, yeah, exactly. My whole person has kind of changed. It went from just one flight, like one way ticket, not like caring about anything that much, just thinking about traveling and discover the whole world,
Yeah.
to like being forced to stay in the same country, which in a way I also don't hate. Like the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, this is actually like a great blessings. It's fine if I'm here. And also like the fact that uni is online because of COVID is
Yeah.
also a blessing in disguise for me, because for exams, for example, we have right to use our notes. And like my classmate told me that before COVID, it wasn't like that. During exams, you don't have the right to have your notes. And I don't need to go out, especially since winter is gonna start. I won't have to go out in the snow and go to the uni. I can just open my computer. So this is also very, very good. And yeah, I have like the difference is that before my vision was towards traveling and discovering new places, and now it's more like getting my degree and like getting into the care that I want to do, which is translator, interpreter. Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you. We've talked about a lot, and it's been very interesting. So thank you for sharing, and allowing us the opportunity to, share your perspective
Mm-hmm.
with other people. I think
Yes,
it's
I'm really happy.
fantastic.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Take care.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.